A disability is something that has a major impact on your life.
Every disability is different.
And it's never the same thing for two people. I am blind in my right eye totally, and partially sighted in my left eye.
I was 18 years old. We were traveling way too fast on a gravel road. Broke my neck, my back.
My Asperger's syndrome and my cerebral palsy.
I have anxiety and depression. People would have no idea just talking to me.
Being independent means different things to different people.
I want to live in my own house. I want to pay my own bills.
Live independently and not rely on other people.
When someone is not able to live as independently as they can, it does have a detrimental effect on people's physical and mental well-being.
It's no complicated thing. It's just that people with disabilities want to be included.
Plenty of people get stuck in ruts when they feel like they can't overcome something in their life. That's where LIFTT comes in.
Living independently for today and tomorrow. LIFTT. We help people of all ages and all types of disabilities find the resources or acquire the skills to live as independently as possible.
We serve the southeastern 18 counties here at the Billings office. We have a variety of things that we offer. We can help with grant funding for adaptive equipment.
Maybe a home modification so they're able to access their home. We help people to find that funding.
Helping people apply for Social Security benefits.
Medicaid, Medicare, housing.
They have a peer support group. Peer support, I think, is key.
Sharing life experiences is one of the most powerful things to help people who might be new to disability, who might be struggling with their disability.
Youth transitions is kids that are transitioning out of high school. They need to learn those adulting skills. It might be rent an apartment, learn how to grocery shop, budgeting.
Help someone advocate for themselves in a school or an employment setting. One of our biggest strengths is providing folks with information and referral. If we can't help you, we hope to know who can.
A lot of times we'll have a potential consumer call in and they think that they just have one need, and it turns out that we end up finding 3 or 4 things we can actually do for them.
You can just come in and say, hey, I feel like I have this going on. Can you help me? And we can, which is so cool to me. I love that.
Most of us on staff at LIFTT have identified ourselves as having one or more disabilities. That is helpful in many cases.
It's easier to empathize with someone when you yourself have struggled with a disability.
This is what we specialize in. This is who we are, and this is what we do.
And it costs nothing to go to LIFTT. It's a nonprofit organization and they're there to help.
Somebody that was a consumer that was working with LIFTT was asked to do an art project. He visualized that the balloon helps to lift people up. And then it became the logo, and it's stuck.
There's been success on all kinds of levels.
It's really rewarding to have a consumer go, hey, I was able to do this by myself today.
We want people to live their best life as independent as possible.
Live as everyone else in society and live as a part of society, not apart from society.
Everybody needs help. Sometimes you just need a little more help, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay.
There's plenty of life to live still, and there's a way you can do it. Keep chipping away at it, little by little by little.
Knowledge is power. Let's share it, for crying out loud.
Send us an email, give us a call. We'll do our best to help.
We can definitely help figure out what your needs are and get started on that. We're one of many steps in the path to independence, and we're happy to be serving people here in the community.
Hello everyone, welcome to Living Well in Montana. Today the viewers are in for a treat. We have a very special guest and we are going to talk about community gardens. We are going to talk about ADA accessible community gardens, if the aging and disabled people can garden and if they should. My name is Carlos Ramalho. I am the Executive Director of LIFTT, Living Independently for Today and Tomorrow. And our special guest is Anthony Sammareto. He is MSUB horticulturist, and he provides Yellowstone County with technical assistance in gardening issues. Anthony, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. It was a great treat.
Would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers and tell us where you work, what you do, and why what you do is so important for our community?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity to do so. So, as you said before, I am an MSU extension agent. My specialty is horticulture. I'm serving here in Yellowstone County, and my job details include helping anyone and everyone in our county and the surrounding counties with gardening or growing issues in and around their yards, their gardens, their open spaces. If there are plants that you don't know, if there are weeds invading your garden or a volunteer in a space, I can help you figure out what those plants are and if they're beneficial or something to remove. I can help you come up with ways to remove said plants if you don't want them. I can assist in pest insect ID. If you've got strange bugs or creatures showing up in your spaces, you can send me photos or bring them to the office in a very tight sealed jar. I can take a look at them and figure out what they could be for you. And so much more. It's just kind of whatever the community has interest in or has questions about, it's my job to help find those answers the best I can.
Wow, sounds like you have a huge job description, and we are happy about that because LIFTT decided to, for the first time in its 36 years history, to have an ADA accessible, all-inclusive community garden. It's the first time that we are going to invite our consumers, aging and disabled, the people we love and serve, to come to LIFTT every day if they are available, and work on a piece of land in a planter and maybe plant tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers, whatever fancies them.
Yes.
And the reason we did that is because we have a very special program called the Diabetes Prevention Program, which has an addition called Using Food as Medicine. So we believe in the value of nutrition to keep people not only alive but healthy and happy. And summer is a great opportunity, isn't it? For people to get out in the sun, stretch their legs, and put their hands in the dirt and enjoy each other in a community garden. Do you have experience with community gardens?
Lots of experience with community gardens. Billings is a wonderful place and that is full of different community gardens all around town. There's the Songbird Community Garden, there's Amon's Community Garden, and the garden at St. Andrew's Church off of 24th. They are wonderful places that the public is welcome to go and garden. Most of them have a giving garden plot as well, where the community that is working these gardens has a space where they're just growing food to then donate to the food bank and help out those who maybe don't have access to healthy and nutritious food, which unfortunately is a big problem in our county. We tend to be high in the statistics for not the best health, we're high in diabetes, and then we're low in the ability for folks to access healthy food. So community gardens become a great way to help serve and fill that need. And the community garden that you all are starting at your LIFTT location is a fantastic resource for the neighborhood that you have around. Because in your space there's not really too many community gardens that folks have access to.
So the viewers are invited. Our community garden starts on May 16. It's a Friday. And Anthony will be there. He will conduct a workshop and maybe talk to us for half an hour, telling us how to garden, what to garden, precautions, and how to have the best and productive garden.
Yes,
and as you said, there are many community gardens in Billings, Montana, but we believe that LIFTT is the first ADA accessible and all-inclusive, meaning people with all abilities are welcome. We will have accessible planters that people in wheelchairs can approach and work on. We will have all kinds of seats and tools that will help people with different abilities to work in the garden. Also, it's all-inclusive, not only because people aging and disabled are welcome, but people with all ethnicity, confessions, and sexual orientation. No matter who you are welcome in our community garden. So mark the date, May 16, 2025 at 1 p.m. We will kick the community garden on. And what do you think we should plant, Anthony?
Should you plant? I guess I'd like to keep things simple, so only plant things that maybe you know that you would like to eat. So something that you enjoy is always good. At least put one thing there for yourself. But to keep things in a relatively simple manner, I garden to make salsa. So lots of tomatoes and peppers, some onions. They're simple. You can grow them pretty easily out here, and that is something that you know that you're going to use and enjoy and eat. But things like carrots and peas and potatoes are very easy to grow, and they grow well.
I am disappointed because I wanted to plant pineapples, coconut trees, avocados. Why can't I plant those things, Anthony?
It's all about the temperature sometimes. The soil temperature may not be high enough for a long enough duration where those plants just don't do well here. We have a gentleman in our office named Francisco. He is from Costa Rica, and he is an extension agent specializing in agriculture and livestock. And he is trying to grow coffee in our office right now. He's got a tray of coffee beans set out. So we're experimenting to see if maybe we could get something new and out of the ordinary to grow. But sometimes that soil temperature kind of dictate who you can grow and how well they'll do.
Yeah, I miss my childhood. I grew up in a big property, and we had all those trees in the property, avocados and grapes and pumpkins and lemon and orange. It was just amazing. Apricot. So it's sweet memories of childhood summers, picking up those fruits and playing with them. Yeah. But does the idea of an ADA accessible garden, is it new to you?
Yes and no. Yes, in the form of it's an actual community garden designed specifically for that intention purpose, where have people with disabilities who may not be physically able to garden in a normal setting be able to grow something, and it is designed for them specifically. So I guess I want to say, Matt, is that his name, the gentleman who helps build those?
Yes.
I want to say thank you to him, because he's building these garden beds for that purpose, and I think that's a wonderful intentionality to go for it. I said no a little bit earlier because there has been programs that have tried growing things before. At the Montana Audubon Center, they have a program, they were calling it inclusive restoration, where they were getting the classes from Skyview and West High and having those special needs classes come out and having those students there learn a little bit about growing to some degree, or experiencing plants and seeing what things smell like or taste like, and dabbling in that way. So it's kind of a wonderful new step in something that I've kind of explored a little bit before.
Well, it's a new project, a new initiative. We still don't know what to expect, but with your help and your support, I think having the participation of the people we serve and the community around us, and putting people of all abilities together will be important, and that's what we are looking for. Also, we are looking at having a great harvest, and then having a harvest celebration maybe.
Yes, you should.
And share with the community and the people that will enjoy each other in the garden. Yeah. How many gardens have you participated or planted in your life?
In my life, whew, many. My grandfather and my mother were avid gardeners. My mom still is. So worked a lot with them over the childhood lifetime of gardening. But there's been a lot in Montana too since I moved to Billings. There's so many gardens around town, from people's backyards to community gardens like the one you're starting. It's kind of countless at this point. I fear trying to look back. So a love
for planting and harvesting comes from your childhood. Tell us a little bit about that.
My grandfather had the greenest thumb, I think, of anyone in the family. His backyard and his property felt like an exotic jungle, and he was always overloaded with tomatoes and peppers and corn, and it's very fond remembering back and wandering through that garden. Because then also too, in these garden spaces, it's not just the plants that are exciting, but the insects that come to visit. I don't know what type of beetle it was, but he would catch these huge beetles, and it would tickle us because he'd tie a string to the beetle and fly it around like it was on like a kite, and he'd just hold a string, and this big beetle, you'd hear it buzzing around. So it's just kind of a fun, wild place to explore. Yeah.
Last year was the first time that I ever planted a garden, and I am not sure if we can call it a garden. We had the two high planters in legs, and then we, on our way back from Red Lodge, there was a giveaway tomato plants and other plants in Joliet.
Lovely.
So we stopped, and I think we got 50 tomato plants of different types, and then we planted them there. And I was in charge of watering the tomatoes every day. They had the sprinklers attached to the planters, and they were working. But it was a very hot summer, and I remember watering those tomatoes and seeing them grow and eating them fresh from the vine. To my surprise, we didn't have insects destroying them.
Hey, that's wonderful. Okay.
The squirrels didn't eat them. We didn't use pesticides. We didn't do anything, and they were just there. The most sweet cherry tomatoes I've ever eaten, you know.
Good.
So I think I got hooked.
Good.
In growing things last year, and this year I am dreaming of planting zucchinis and see them grow big and pick them up and prepare them in different ways. And by doing that, use food as medication. And talking about that, I want to share with you and the viewers that I think 2 months ago, I had a regular blood test done, and my physician told me that I was low in potassium.
Okay.
And we didn't want to use any synthetic potassium or anything, so I promised that I would intensify eating food rich in potassium. And I start eating a lot of broccoli and all kinds of food that provide potassium to your body. And 3 months after, I did recently a blood test, and my level of potassium went from below the minimum number to above the minimum number.
All right.
So
Good.
Using food as medicine really works. And that's the message that we want to transmit to the participants of the community garden.
Yes.
Do you know of any food that can be used as medication?
Food as medication. There are some out there that people make tinctures and things with. I can't quite recall them off the top of my head now. The way that I hear that question, though, the medicine that you would be getting from food is just it being healthy food that has the nutrients that you need, that you, by consuming what you're growing, you're staying away from processed foods or ultra-processed foods, which can be detrimental to your health, and consuming food that is natural enough in a way where your body knows what to do with it. It's not confused by these mystery ingredients that could be added to our food. So in ways where we get healthy by eating the good food, it's important to note as well that the good dirt that you use to grow the vegetables and the fruits in your garden, if you have good dirt, that produce that you're growing becomes better. It has more nutrients available. You could still grow something in bad dirt, and it would just be lacking in maybe some of those vital nutrients and minerals that you would need. But if you have good dirt, you can have good vegetables and fruits that you can then eat, and then that will make you healthier. It's a wonderful little process that can really make a difference.
So what type of dirt should we use? And I also heard that there is such a thing as compost. I would like to know the difference between dirt, potting soil, and compost.
Yes. There's a whole science behind soil that really gets offended by people calling their soil dirt. They think it's a bad term describing of what they're studying. But think of soil as little micro minerals, rocks breaking down that become fine particles, and then those gets mixed with what we'll call organic matter, which is the broken down leaves and other plants material that is slowly breaking down. It all mixes together to make soil, which is the medium where we'll be growing. And I guess the question kind of being, what is the best, or what would you want to use for gardening? It's a wonderful blend that allows water to drain out of an area so you don't have a swamp, but also holds onto your water a little bit to allow plants to take it up. It typically ends up being some sort of topsoil or a garden soil. So there's different products out there. It's about trying to find the best balance for where you are and what you're trying to grow.
I thought about making compost at home. There is a machine that you can buy and put on this counter in the kitchen, and you can throw everything there. Tea bags, cell phone lids made with recycled material, or eggshells, everything. And on the next day, it's kind of a soil, and you mix outside. But I don't think it works here. Can we do that here in cold weather? In the tropical countries, they do not throw residues of food or organic trash in the trash. They mix it in the garden with the dirt because the speed of the decomposition is higher than here.
Yeah.
So can we do compost at home?
Yep, you can still compost up here even though it gets rather cold, but there are many different ways to do it. You can do it in ground and have something stationary. You could do one that you'd mentioned where it's inside in your kitchen. I've also seen it done with worms, and vermicompost, where it's a bucket that has worms in it that you're feeding with your kitchen waste. All of that works pretty well in breaking down this material. The ones outside will go dormant. When winter comes, they'll kind of slow down, but once spring is here, things are growing and things are active. So
there is so much to learn, isn't it? Is there a book, The ABC of Community Garden, that you recommend?
Book? I have a book that I use to teach a class called Master Gardener. And don't be intimidated by the name Master Gardener. It's just a great book for all the little bits of gardening knowledge that you might know a little bit of but want to explore in depth. It's a great resource and can be purchased online at the MSU Extension store. It's like $50 and it's a great resource to use.
I will get that book and read it before Friday when we meet again at LIFTT and when you will speak in person to our viewers. So let me invite our viewers, our community again. Isn't it exciting to listen to Anthony tell us so many new things and share his knowledge and expertise about gardening with us? Please come to LIFTT at 1241 Crawford Drive. It's on the corner of 13th Street West between Poly and Grand Avenue. There is another street that is famous. It's called Park Hill. So you can also say we are between Poly Drive and Park Hill Drive on the corner of 13th Street West and Crawford Drive, in the old building of St. Stephen's Episcopal Church. And I do not want to be ungrateful. I want to use our show today to express LIFTT's gratitude to Ace Hardware. They donated to LIFTT the potting soil and the compost for the community garden. So a very special thanks to Mr. Skip Thing for his generosity. So Anthony, thank you very much for downloading on all of us your knowledge, and we will see you again on May 16 at 1 p.m. at LIFTT.